Hello, and welcome to Biblical Scrolls, where we take a deeper dive into the hard to interpret, the obscure, or even the misinterpreted passages of Scripture. We will also look at apocryphal and pseudepigraphal texts and other historical manuscripts. We'll be using a variety of sources, so if you're committed to just one version of the Bible, this channel may not be for you. Now let's dig into today's passage. Today's passage is John 8, 3 through 11. We're going to read that in the New King James Version. Then the scribes and Pharisees brought to him a woman caught in adultery, and when they had set her in the midst, they said to him, "Teacher, this woman was caught in adultery, the very act. Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned. But what do you say?" This they said, testing him, that he might have something of which to accuse him. But Jesus stooped down and wrote in the ground with his finger, as though he did not hear. So when they continued asking him, he raised himself up and said to them, "He who is without sin among you, let him throw a stone at her first." And again he stooped down and wrote in the ground. Then those who heard it, being convicted by their conscience, went out one by one, beginning with the oldest even to the last. And Jesus was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. When Jesus had raised himself up and saw no one but the woman, he said to her, "Woman, where are your accusers? Has no one condemned you?" She said, "No one, Lord." And Jesus said to her, "Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more." So a woman caught in adultery is dragged before Jesus by religious leaders. They're not seeking justice. They're setting a trap. The law of Moses commands that she be stoned, yet Jesus shows mercy in a unique way. His writing in the dirt could be seen as just a dramatic pause, but what did he write? Well, we aren't told in our English Bibles this, but the Ethiopians have preserved in the Ge'ez language what was potentially written. The Didaskalia Apostolorum, which was an early church manual written around 230 AD, or around 200 years after Jesus, tells us that Jesus was writing the sins of each one of the accusers in the dust. Jerome, early church father, believed that Jesus was fulfilling a prophecy of Jeremiah 17:13. It says, "O Lord, the hope of Israel, all who forsake you shall be ashamed. Those who depart from me shall be written in the earth, because they have forsaken the Lord, the fountain of the living waters." So this connection makes sense culturally, because in Jewish tradition, having your name written in dust symbolizes judgment, the opposite of having your name written in the book of life. It's like saying your name is not written in heaven, but in dust that blows away. Under Mosaic law in Leviticus, both the man and woman caught in adultery were to be stoned. Where is the man in this situation? This alone shows that it wasn't about upholding the law here. It was a setup. And of course, Jesus knew this. Witnesses to capital crimes had to witness the act themselves, be of impeccable character, and also had to cast the first stone at the accused. If later these witnesses were proven false, they also would be stoned. The Ethiopian Orthodox tradition has preserved texts that were either rejected or not received in Western Christian culture. And among these, in their ancient Ge'ez language, is the record of what Jesus wrote. Just like John says, he bent down to write in the dirt twice. The first time he was writing the Ten Commandments. The second time, he was writing the accusers' specific transgressions against these commandments, right next to them. Now we understand why John tells us that they went away one by one. These religious leaders recognized their hypocrisy. When they had left, Jesus wrote one powerful word: mercy. Not carved in stone, like the Ten Commandments, but written in dust, the very material which man was formed from. The symbolism here is that sin and judgment can be wiped away with mercy. So how reliable is this Ethiopian account? Well, this specific manuscript group has not been broadly translated or studied, so is not commonly used, especially in Western scholarship. Also, we lack precise dating for this Ethiopian tradition, but I think this deserves serious consideration. The Ethiopian Church preserved many authentic historic and biblical texts that the Western Church lost, including 1 Enoch, which is quoted in the book of Jude. This explanation of what Jesus wrote in the dirt does fit his character and teaching style. He constantly exposed hypocrisy, turning the accusation back to the accusers. Jesus confronted sin, not to condemn, but to restore. Jesus neither dismissed the law nor permitted its abuse as a spiritual weapon. So, what was written in the dirt? We may never know the absolute certainty what was written in the dirt, but maybe that is part of the point. If you were an accuser standing with a stone, what would he write in front of you? I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe even learned something. Please subscribe and give a thumbs up. The topics on this channel are difficult and sometimes there's a difference of opinions, but that's okay. Be blessed, be encouraged, and I'll see you in the next video.